Hello everyone and welcome to Ballet Universe with me, Elisa Zafirova, and today's foot strength exercise routine. We are going to use a couple of different tools. Here you can see next to me a Pilates ball, a double ball. You can also use a very simple single massage ball. We are going to use a TheraBand. Make sure that the elasticity of the TheraBand matches your fitness levels. And we're also going to have a little friend here, the Infinity Band. I use right now the yellow one, but you can also apply different colors depending on the intensity of the band. And of course, it should match your fitness levels. All right, we are simply going to start without anything. Sitting back comfortably and simply rotating the feet comfortably, if we can say so. We are just drawing small circles, slightly activating all the muscles that are engaged into the movement of the feet. Circles from in to out, and then we're reversing into circles to direction out to in. Very easy, not much stress, not much pressure anywhere. Just get your feet moving, see how they feel today. If something pulls, something is cramped, just monitor, observe, and keep it in your mind for the rest of this exercise routine. Okay, whenever you have done this, just stop the rotations and continue with simply flexing and extending your toes, just like this, on each foot, alternatingly or maybe at the same time. Imagine you're grabbing a little coin each time that you are flexing your toes. Grab, release, and again, and again, and again, and again, and then just give me very easy articulation flex point as you are going very particularly into the work of the toes themselves, the feet themselves, and further the feet and again the toes as your knees are fully extended. That's it. Whenever you feel that your feet are kind of warm already and that these muscles here in the front are getting activated, then you are ready to start with the simple routine. Okay, as you have a ball there next to you, you're going to use it to roll your foot. Just introduce the sole of your foot to your ball, single or a double one, whichever you choose, up to you. Just make sure that you awaken a little bit of fascia down there and the very tight tendon, the very strong tendon at the sole of your foot. All we need to do is to draw a straight line from the toes all the way back to the heel. You can check the middle line of your foot. You can check the outer line underneath the fourth and the fifth toe, and you can check the inner line between or underneath the second and the first toe. That's it. Now I want you to get your foot just in the middle on top of the rolling tool and press just like this. You can also use one hand a little bit stronger as we're down on the ground. You can also do it standing up. You're pressing, you're pressing, you're pressing. There should be a little node or a muscle belly or a tight muscle down there that you are now just triggering with this pressure point technique. And again, release and roll it easily out. A little bit quicker. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. As you see, my toes are not really engaged. They are just released and naturally jump over up and down as I roll the tendon. Okay, now we're going to change the feet and again just introduce the sole of the foot to the surface of the ball. Again, monitor, check what you feel, how your feet are reacting. Are they feeling different? Is one tighter than the other? Or maybe they're the same? But if there is a difference, remember it and think about why this could be the case. Are you using more your left or right foot to stand on, or are you using it to articulate more with it? Is it your standing foot? Is it your working? Figure out. You have to go back and check this in your daily life. Just observe, think, What am I doing more? What am I doing less? Am I using both of my feet equally well? Do I put enough workload on both of my feet equally well? As you see, we're already pressing onto the middle spot, nicely exploring this muscle belly there, or the tendon itself. You can also, as you remember, press with one of your arms down the ground and the other one your leg, and help the pressure increase slightly. As you have spent a couple of seconds in here, you are going to roll it up. Again, explore the middle line, the outer line, and the inner line of your foot, all the way from the first joint of your toes back to the base of your heel. And once you have done this, you just release the ball and let it free. We are now going to go and use the terragon, so let us switch to that too, and take the first foot and wrap the foot just like this, the forefoot and the toes, and the ball of the foot with the pad. What we're going to do is we will simply pull both of the ends, stretch the knee, keep the leg parallel, and from a flex position we're going to simply point and come back and come back. That's it. All we want to do is to activate a little bit more the anterior and the posterior muscles of the leg, or the lower part of our leg. That's it. These two muscles regulate the strength of our point and of our flex. They work a lot into the stabilization of our body and the stability of the foot and the ankle themselves. So we want to make sure that they are warm enough by applying a little bit of resistance and already stepping into the actual foot strength exercises with this little tricky, not tricky, but rather very simple, effective, beneficial tiny little exercise. I say tricky because sometimes it's starting to burn way too early, and we need to have a little pause every now and then to release the pressure from these two muscles here. Alright, let's take the other side, and again just flex and point. As you see, I'm sitting up straight, so I'm not really damaging anything else on my body while I'm trying to improve another part. All I do is just to make sure that I sit straight and concentrate onto my working leg. So remember, as you sit down onto your ball, onto your sling bones, to remain straight with your back and not to really shrug your shoulders, because this is not really going to help anything. That's it. Just put all of your emphasis and attention onto the spot that you are working with or trying to improve right now. As you have done a couple of seconds of this one here, and you have felt the full activity of your shin and calf muscles, we are going to proceed to the next one, where we take the same wrap here of the foot. That's it. We're gonna put one of the ends of the elastic together, take it from the outside and then from underneath, and simply keep the leg into the same position as before. From here, we will start rotating our foot, just like this, so you can see me better, our foot outwards into a full external rotation. Then we're going to point here, keeping the toes still flexed, rotate in, and then come back. Just like this. You're trying to brush the ground with your small toe. That's it. You are keeping flex in the external rotation. As you're turning in, you are pointing your foot only. The toes are remaining flexed all the time. There you go. Your knee is fully active. Your quad is working. Your rotators are helping you a little bit up here. We're gonna finish up with this one and change the direction. Try to really now go into the sickling and then return out and exit from it. As you see, I'm nicely sickling the foot, pointing in there, and then brushing down. Just like this. You're going to feel your shin muscle working very nicely. Your calf will be engaged. It's a beautiful rotation here that you are creating with lots of resistance to help the stability of your foot, as well as the strength in any possible twisted position that you may possibly take while you dance. There you go. Same thing, two edges from the outside, from the underneath. Have flex, we rotate outwards just like this. We brush the ground, point, rotate in, flex, rotate out, brush in. There you go. It's almost as if we are remaining into a limit point here. And then we sickle to exit the sickle precisely in full control, to articulate it and to take it back into the correct position. There you go. Nice. If you feel that your TheraBand is not giving you enough of a pull, you can always change in the middle of the exercise and take another one. That's it. Let's go and change the direction. You go back outwards, flex in sickle, straighten up, and again. Nicely articulate the fore and the oar from the hip joint, right? The foot is doing, or the ankle is doing a lot of the rotations, but the hip joint is really taking active part in this whole external, internal rotation of your leg. There you go. Now we're gonna have a little pause here, release the band, and we will take the ball, and we will position ourselves so that the ball can come underneath the knee, just like this. We will have a limit point here, so a full limit point, and we'll just a couple of times go up and down to explore the height that we can reach today, or the maximum height. Make sure now that your toes are long, that you are not crumbling them, and that they are away from each other. That's it. As you have done between 8 and 12 of these releve rises, feel free to push over. As you see, I'm nicely supporting myself on my knee and on my other foot back there. Press slightly and remain in this position for a little bit, couple of breaths in, couple of breaths out. That's it. And make sure now that you are not sickling your foot. Check it out. You need to take a look, observe if you have a mirror somewhere nearby, go ahead and check. Make sure that your ankle is not sickled outwards, because this is what usually happens. You want to keep the ankle in the middle. That's it. And then return slowly. And I want you to tuck your toes in here and do the same thing. Check your ankle joint. Make sure it's not sickled like this. So keep it there. Push over. And give a little stretch, couple of seconds to your metatarsals, the entire anterior part of your lower leg, and release. There you go. We're gonna repeat the same thing onto the other side. Get ready. Raise your ball. Adjust your hips so that you are stable enough, and give a couple of releves here. Check, check, check. Again, explore the maximum height or the height that you can reach for today. As you have done between 8 and 12 of these releve rises, all you want to do is to remain up and push over a little bit harder. Again, make sure that all of your toes are down on the ground. Help them if you need to with your hands. Adjust them, make sure that they are long, lean, and spread away from one another. Push, 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 push. Explore the maximum. Make sure that your ankle joint is nicely opened. The toes are fully flexed. Make sure that your ankle is well aligned and not sickled outwards. That's it. Continue pushing and shifting my hips nicely in that direction, pushing the ground here. And release. To replace the stretch or to change the stretch with the metatarsal pull. There you go. That feels good. Couple more seconds in here. I'm really also pushing in this one, using my hips, shifting them forward, using the force ground or the ground forces here to really go ahead and explore that arch there. To release, to leave the ball for a second, to grab this band and to place it in front of me for this little exercise where we will drag the band towards us. So as you can see, placing my toes onto the band and then grabbing the band and tucking it underneath my foot. Tuck, tuck, tuck. I make sure that all of my 5 toes are engaged into the extension and into the flexion. There you go. We're going to do it 3 times with each foot. If you need to do it slower, pause this video and do it slower. You want to spread them away, stretch them out, push the ground, and then grab the band and tuck it in, just like this. All of your 5 toes should be grabbing a band and should be tucking it in or underneath your foot. This was the second time for this foot. I'm going to now change to my other leg. You can now see this side, so you can see how my arch is working on this side as well. As I said, always monitor which foot is doing better, which one is stronger, which one is a little bit weaker, which one needs more work. If you need a little bit more work into the tempo, so if you need to do something slower, always feel free to pause and rewind and then continue further on. This is the second time for this foot. Very nicely activity placed in here or applied to release this band, this two, and to grab the other one. The infinity band now I will just place like this around my big toes. And what I'm going to do is that I will place my feet hip width apart, flat down on the ground. If you need to support yourself just like this behind you, feel free. If not, you can also just hang here with your back straight. All you want to do now is to push the ground with all of your 4 toes on each foot and to rise the thumbs up. The thumbs are slightly pulling the band, so the band is quite in action all the time. It's never really wobbly and released. It needs to be pulled, so make sure that you push the ground with your toes and with your feet. Your feet are flat and parallel to each other. Rise the big toes and put them back down. Rise them and put them back down. Just the toes and again. Just the big ones and again. Make sure the other 4 toes on each foot are long. You don't want them to be crumbling and holding onto the ground. You want them to be long, away, pointing away from you. As you are pulling and rising the band at the same time, you're going to go for between 8 and 12 reps of this one. And then you're going to keep the band out and just try to stretch it. So the big toes are traveling outwards, or rather in towards the other little toe friends on each side. So you want to join the big toes as they rise up. You want them to join the other 4 toes that way. So join the first to the second toe as you're keeping all other toes on the ground. And now just do the same first step, rising and then leaving the back toes back down. That's it. All the other 4 on the left and on the right foot are down on the ground. If you need to do it slower, again, just do it slower. Take your time. As you do another set of 8 to 12, you're going to rise the big toes, keep them there. The other 4 on each side will be pressing the ground together with the ball of the foot on each side. And then you're going to start pulling the bands outwards, 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 and outwards, and outwards, and outwards. Again, between 8 and 12 reps, very easy. You can always change the tempo to slower one. Don't really go and rush for this one. You don't need it. As you have done this, release the band. Take your toes with your hands just like this from underneath. Keep them flexed. So the toes are flexed and the feet are flexed. Just like this while the heels are down the ground, and stretch them nicely. There you go. So we're stretching them upwards. The toes are flexed, the feet are flexed. And as you have spent here between 6 and 8 seconds, you're going to simply do the opposite thing just with your toes. So you are pushing them downwards as if they are tucked on each foot. There you go. Your knuckles are going to pop out. You will feel your feet and you also see them widening, which is perfectly fine. Couple more seconds in here. That's it. And release. That's it. So these little workflow or exercise flow for your feet will help you strengthen a lot of intrinsic muscles. It will better or improve your articulation, and it will work a lot for the strength, as we are applying not only work for the feet and the toes themselves, but also for the muscles of the lower part of your legs, so that they are getting stronger in each dimension. Good luck.